Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of my Macedonian campaign. I know it's been a while, but I have been extraordinarily busy, so I do apologize for a rather dry week with no uploads. But to be honest, I'm exceptionally excited. I am super duper psyched to get into this episode, for we are cleaning up what remains of the Roman Empire and really just setting the stage for what I think is going to be a new era of conflicts against the Carthaginians and, well, against the Ptolemaic dynasty too. For at the end of last episode, we conquered this little snippet of land, this little scraplet of land over here in Africa. And that is going to create a rather close border with the Ptolemaic dynasty, whom dislike us thoroughly, for we are allied with the Pergamese and I think some other factions that they're at war with. Yeah, Pergamon for sure. I think we have some agreements with Kyrene over here. And yeah, Thessos. Thessos, we have an alliance too. So frankly, we are just allied with the Ptolemaic dynasty's enemies. They also are, in my opinion, our natural rivals, considering that we're both successor states. So I just think that it's super duper obvious that we're going to end up being in conflict with each other. It's not even really something you have to think about or debate too much. It's just inevitable. It's just a matter of when. But in any case, I do hope that we can capture this settlement in Africa next turn. We have a army that's quite close. I don't see any Carthaginians close enough to cause this settlement to turn over in one turn, so it should be fine. I don't really have any quarrel with this particular faction right here, and they are at war with the Romans, so why not just create a trade agreement, a non-aggression pact, military access. I don't mind if they cross our land to go and fight the Ptolemies. I'll give them full access, and they just don't have to bother us. I think that's an excellent deal. And yeah, we'll just keep this army here, just kind of fortify. Really no need to do anything else. It's more dramatic than that. We do have these two armies that are over here, and one of them is going to be soon taking off on a ship to Africa to reinforce my men over there. Do remember that we're marching troops over. Yeah, these guys were supposed to... Yeah, they're supposed to get over to Thrace, right? So let's go ahead and move them a little bit, keep them in a good stance for public order. For here we have 0 banditry, which means that we can upgrade some things potentially. I mean, squalor is very low throughout this province, so we're doing well on that front. It really doesn't matter the public order. I mean, we have plus 26 public order, though. We have excellent public order, so why not? Let's go ahead and get this upgrade. We'll go ahead and get this upgrade as well. So, that's what we'll do it. Pardon for the interruption, folks. Not entirely sure what that was about, but I shall resolve it. I shall resolve it after gaming, for it is absolutely not prescient at all. Now, when it comes to this army, we already moved it. We already commanded some upgrades in Thrace, for banditry is very low thanks to my army. So I thought, why not? And we do have this army full of hardened professionals, but just no elite troops. And I suppose we're just waiting on this building to get us more buffs, as well as... Yeah, we don't have a ton of Eugenies in this settlement, so it's not like we really need to use that population right now. It's very much not in our favor too, so we can just wait a bit. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think that we're basically good for the turn. And we definitely could, like, do some upgrading here. But we don't have very good public order in Illyria, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to do anything with that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all that we can do for the turn. You know, it just took me a little bit of time to get my bearings, you know, after not playing for a week. But it looks like the Romans' art is going to retake Thapsos. I mean, unless it was Carthaginian navies can hold on, but they've made a quick getaway. And they only just retook Thapsos, so I don't think that they're going to be able to hold on to it. And frankly, I don't mind if the Romans and Carthaginians fight it out. Why would I care if two rival powers fight each other right in front of me and take each other out? It really doesn't matter. Yeah, I just, Yeah, I'm not gonna go fight the Galatians. I don't think it's to my advantage at all. You know, getting into a war with those guys, just no. Absolutely no need to do such a thing. Not really seeing anything that's concerning in the slightest. Not at all. Not in the slightest. Okay. I mean, these guys, of course, I do need to see, like, what side they're on, and I guess they're the ally of my ally. You had bright green. That's what your diplomatic status towards me is. So yeah, let's go go ahead and get a trade agreement, non-aggression. That's good. Kind of get our foot in the door. Although they might not be long for this world, you know. A weak state that's inevitably going to infuriate Ptolemies just by their existence. Makes no sense to me why they'd stick around for too long. But you know what? We'll go ahead and send an army force to go take LPQY, one of those infernal remaining Roman settlements. We'll go ahead and just continue trying to invest in Africa, trying to make it a successful agricultural province. Meanwhile, this navy, it's got to go ahead and try to get to Taras, and it's making solid progress. We'll make it in quick enough. Let's see. No banditry over here in Rome. And we have some food. You know what? I think it just makes perfect sense to go and just make the industrial capacity of Rome even greater. Just at the end of the day, we have to wait for a population to continue to expand. I think that's like one of the main issues with Italy. We just haven't created enough industrial buildings yet because we've used our building slots for things that are going to kind of buff, you know, kind of like more supported buildings. We haven't gotten the money buildings just yet. That makes sense. And yeah, we'll just keep this by kind of around, you know, the Scordiki. They're a constant threat. They're a major power, really. So I think we could definitely stay wary of them. And yeah, really nothing else to do other than attack right here. Attack these Romans. For at the end of the day, they aren't going to be particularly strong here. I do see some Syracusan crossbowmen. So this is clearly a legacy army of her time on the peninsula itself, but a lot of Roman heavy infantry as well as foreign heavy infantry. This is a decent Roman army. It just we do have a completely elite army facing off against it, and our navy is here to help too. So just overall, like, the combined arms efforts of our troops should just prove too much for the Romans. Like, the Romans have an excellent army, but we have a brilliant army. It just, I think that this is probably the strongest army I have in this campaign thus far. We'll keep the Phreo spears more like on the outer flanks, because I think that they're just much hardier, far more resistant than my Thracian warriors who, you know, I mean, you can see these guys are mostly just invertutics. They have helmets, greaves, and stuff. I mean, they are tough fighters, don't get me wrong. They charge in like elephants and brave, you know, really anything to sink their Ramphias into the enemies. But still, they just aren't particularly hardy troops. They die quite quickly, particularly to missiles. And yeah, let's have these guys here. And yeah, it's kind of it. The main killing power of this army is my Ejima. These guys are gold experience chevron. You know, the combined efforts of my academy and just all of my amazing buildings in Macedon. And these are the best pikemen Macedon can produce. I mean, you can see just absolutely insane stats. 80 morale. You know, these are the best infantry on the field today, no question. And my Royal Peltas will help out too. These guys should be quite an important factor against the Romans, where they'll kind of even up the odds a little bit. Yeah, we have a lot of elite cavalry here today as well. And yeah, it looks like my navy, they're starting to come up here. And yeah, I'm just going to have my navy try to sail forward. Luckily, you know, this is a professional navy, not like troop transports or anything, so they should be quite quick. Quite quick, and we have a lot of like scorpions and stuff like that on board. But at the end of the day, like, the Romans are in a good position to charge my men. They would be able to outnumber me if they just pushed forward with everything that they have. For I believe that it's entire Roman army that's over here. You can see the principe of the main army that they have, as well as a lot of the garrison troops. So yeah, it's like all of the Roman forces are all here. Meanwhile, for me, there are still like quite a few troops that are far away because of the distance of my navy. So yeah, we're just gonna wait for my navy to deploy. Professional navies move much quicker than troop transports, so these guys will be able to get over quite soon. My smaller ships will be faster, but it's just, at the end of the day, navies are, you know, ponderous things. It does take a while for just human arms with oars to be able to push these heavy, humongous vessels through. And yeah, my boys, they are struggling. Meanwhile, I mean, the Romans, it looks like they're making a run for it now that their entire force has landed. You know what? We can go face them off. Let's go ahead and just get some of our cavalry facing off against the Romans. I'll happily accept a cavalry on cavalry engagement. My Tarentines combined with my sacred squadrons are the superior cavalry instruments on the field. And yeah, I'll just make sure that my Agema form up. I don't want my phalanxes to be out of their porcupine formations. I want my lines to be elegant, for them to be dressed, for my officers to be right in the backs. I want my formations to be maximally solid for the impact of the Roman legions, for the smack of the Roman lines. And yeah, the thing is that these armies, that they're going to have their work cut out for them if they land here. It's a pretty narrow choke point, which is troublesome. But you know what? We can have a couple of units like land over here. They'll do a great job. You know what? Let's just try to reinforce them with the bulk of my lower tier units. It's going to take a while for them to get into place and make an impact, but at the end of the day, don't really have any choice but wait for those guys. And I will put up my volume after this battle. Once again, my volume's so inconsistent. I have no idea how to make my settings more reliable. But you know what? Music starting to ramp up. I'm getting pumped myself. And I think that my troops are of a certain quality advantage where I feel pretty comfortable just pushing them forward, even though the Roman army is larger in comparison. It's just, I think that once my men make impact, the Roman numbers might not account for very much. Some of my naval troops are already getting close to landing. Kind of waiting for the Romans to go and make a move here. And yeah, the cavalry is swimming. It's pushing forth. Go get some of our javelins out, but also just charge in with my general. Should be able to cut down to Roman equites. Don't rate them very highly. My general's gonna go hunting for Romans. These petulant men that think themselves the masters of the world. Pah! Romans are hardly fit to wipe Macedonian boots, that's what I say. And my navy is pouring forth. Yeah, we're gonna be able to capture the Roman city center with ease, as my marines are uncontested in their landing. And you don't want to underestimate the Marines either. Like, they are pretty decent troops. And yeah, I'm pretty happy to be charging my Thracians into some relatively weak units. I think that they're going to do fabulously. Yeah, we'll just continue to fight. General, go ahead, kind of get this guy, form up a little bit, get this guy going. So far, so good. Like, honestly, we have done nothing but win every single exchange as battle so far. The Roman troops have barely achieved anything so far. Meanwhile, lots and lots and lots of Roman units have taken extensive damage. Although, to be fair, some of my pikemen, jeez, starting to see some real damage. Okay, well, maybe having such high morale has the negative impact of not knowing when your men are taking horrendous casualties. For they don't exactly complain about it. I think the enemy crossbows are targeting my general, which is not good, because crossbows are precisely the type of thing that does, like, a lot of damage. You know, very, very good for killing high armored troops like my general, but crossbows are also pretty under-defended, so it looks like my general's about to charge into the soft underbelly of the Roman forces. And he might be able to kill quite a few high-value targets, where these crossbowmen, they're no joke. They are expensive premium units. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get some of these guys forward. You know, some of these troops also need a good Tarentine charge, or rather a Sacred Band charge. But yeah, my cavalry right now, they are ruling over the field. Just virtually unopposed at the moment. But the Roman infantry is hardy, so not too many chaotic routes just yet. But it is inevitable that these lighter troops, they're going to go. So no light infantry or skirmishers could possibly sustain this level of just getting screwed with by cavalry. Okay, let's go ahead, bring some of these guys out. Okay, I do need to go and keep my general safe, because the Romans are just focused firing on me whenever I turn around. The good thing is that the Romans don't really have much of a chance at winning at this point. Like, they've taken pretty horrendous casualties. There's several troops that I think are pretty close to breaking, but also there's some areas where the Romans have put an excess of pressure on me. We're also doing a little bit better as of late. We're getting some solid angles on the Romans, some pretty good engagements. Okay, he is a royal squadron. I mean, they're just going to go in and gallop amongst the Syracusan crossbowmen and hopefully kill enough of them to keep them off the field, for they keep on returning for the Romans. Our constant pesky nuisance because of that. Go ahead and just kind of charge these fools right here. And I do feel like my infantry are starting to crack, but the Roman war machine is starting to do its thing. You know, starting to grind through my men. To be fair, like, we have allowed a lot of Roman infantry to, like, hit flanks and stuff like that. Maybe having my navy here has made me a bit lax in my micro. I have no one to blame but myself for such a lapse. But regardless, actually look at these guys off their mounts and charge them in. They'll do better against Roman infantry in that fashion. We'll go ahead and get the Marines to form up right behind the Roman line. Okay, so these Italian swordsmen getting routed. Yeah, at this point, I think the Romans, they're just done. It's game over. There we go. There we go. It's a done deal. I mean, some of these units got absolutely mauled, but none of them are reduced enough to be completely broken. But I am going to have to wait quite a while for them to regenerate, probably in the face of quite a bit of Roman pressure. Man, not the cleanest victory for me. A very lazy one, if anything. But at least we destroyed an entire Roman legion. I mean, that definitely counts for something. We'll raise the settlement. We have more than enough money to afford to rebuild it in whatever fashion we wish. Go. We can go increase the replenishment rate. That's definitely a useful thing to have at the moment. And yeah, we can go ahead start sending. We can start sending this army back to pick up more men. It's one food from farms. Don't do livestock ranches, so we can get the granary complex if need be, but for now we'll get these two. I think that this is the smart thing to do tactically. It's going to be the next army that goes over. This army we already kind of did something with. Okay, well, I think that it's pretty much over for this turn. Don't really see much I can do now. Don't really see anything I need to do right now. Yeah, let's get the turn done with. But yeah, the Romans, I do anticipate that they'll take Thapsos. Like, surely, right? Oh, instead they're retreating. Maybe they just see the writing on the wall and we don't want to over-push. Perhaps a Carthaginian navy scared them. Whatever it might be, it's certainly not a good thing for the Roman effort itself. How could they possibly survive with so many enemies and yet so few defenders? Only one settlement left. No, I absolutely will not join any wars in Asia Minor. Don't have the troops to get drawn into such a prolonged and probably intense conflict. Wars in Asia Minor were always hard. You can see how many troops are roaming around just one province over there. Right on your screen. No, it definitely won't be a good thing for us. Okay, I mean, I see no reason not to be in a military alliance with these guys. They're allies of my allies. I definitely am not going to pay them 6,000 for military access. Kyrene, while a convenient ally, is not really one I respect too much. And let's go send the spy a little bit closer to where I anticipate the majority of Sicorian troops to be, or Scordikian troops to be. We'll send this army over here. Ironically, most of these troops are from Thrace, so it's kind of cool. It's like we're back in their homeland. Man, it really doesn't look like the Carthaginians are going to lose Thapsos, which is not what I wanted. When did I make an alliance with these guys? Like, I'm pretty sure that I made this alliance not that long ago. Isn't that the case? Like, no, I'm still steadfast. Okay. I don't mind canceling all these treaties. I don't like the Carthaginians. I'm okay to go to war with them. I want to take Carthage itself. I need to rule over all of Africa. It's one of my win conditions, and I don't want them as a military ally. They're just too powerful. You know, I'm going to do what the Romans did and find every petulant excuse to go to war with Carthage. For Macedon's ambition knows no end and shows no quarter. You know, this army's going to have to wait for my other navy to catch up, so it's going to be quite a while. It's going to be 2 more turns, so yeah, we got some time. Appears that this general is yet to level up, but I don't think it's going to take too long. And yeah, we already moved this army. This force is just kind of waiting. Pella's continuing to grow. Nothing more to do here or to modify here. This army I allowing to move a bit. I mean, we can go ahead and just see, like, what state are these Roman troops in? Should I move close? Because it looks like I'm outnumbered, but it doesn't seem exactly like that. I mean, it's the summer right now, so it's going to just get better and better for moving in this province. You know, we'll get close to the Romans. If they want to advance on us and try to do something risky, I'll let them. I'm sure I'll end up slaughtering them anyway. Meanwhile, this army can go to this province right here. At least we have a little bit better status over there. Go ahead and send someone over to host some games over in Africa. It'll help with our recruitment and stuff like that. Yeah, I think we're good to go. Oh! Never turn! And yeah, I did anticipate that the Romans would get a little bit feisty and try to fight us. Wait, they didn't? Man, that was pretty interesting looking. It's like the Romans just hesitated. But perhaps they're just trying to block us. But none of those armies appear to be in a protective stance. And I wonder, can 4 armies really reinforce each other? Seems like quite a bit. And I don't think that they're all within reinforcing distance of each other anyway. At least this outermost army might not be incorporated in a battle. And it looks like a lot of these Roman armies are going to be losing men over the turn anyway, so perhaps this will end up being a favorable fight. But at the end of the day, I do only have 1 army in the area. I am limited. This is the last of Rome's strength I'd be up against, but we're going to try our luck here. Maybe we can use our agent to do something. Maybe we can stop their armies from reinforcing each other somewhat. Get a favorable fight against their largest army and then wipe out the remnants. Something cool like that. There's always different types of things that you can do. Okay. Pretty solid turn. There's a lot of construction. Okay, it looks like besides assassination and sabotaging supplies, there's really not a lot I can do. I mean, I can, of course, confront these guys. Honestly, they don't really outnumber me. It's like an even fight numerically. The Roman troops are arranged in such a weird way that I think I'm advantaged here. I'm going to go fight the fight. Now, my army is extremely veteran here. You can see gold chevrons across my army, across my archers, and some of my Agrionians. My pikemen, while they aren't the elite Agema of the last battle, they are still solid Macedonian troops. You can see they're well equipped, well arranged, 63 morale, excellent combat stats. These guys can hold themselves with a sword just as well as they can in the phalanx, and that's going to be important when dealing with the Romans. Now, this army that I have here is rather strange. It's very, very missile heavy, which may prove decent against the type of army that we're facing here, but may also prove to be a bit of a handicap too, although considering that the enemy is like gonna seemingly just fortify on this dune right here, seems perhaps like Roman hesitation is to our advantage, for we're going to be able to get our missiles arrayed to fight the enemy. Now this army's come from a little bit further away, but it is clearly the Roman army that's in the highest numbers. Well, some of their units are a little bit outdated at this point. It's pretty decent Roman units here. This army is like a lot more scattered right here. You can see that they're like in small numbers. Yeah, that's a problem. It's going to be hard to... I can't like attack this blob with just my cavalry unsupported. You know what? Like, we have a better army than the Romans. I don't think that there's any point of taking a needless risk and attacking the Romans head on. But you know what? If this cavalry is gonna like charge us to try to like win some time for the rest of their army, then I'll let them. Okay, we'll have my general attack this Libyan infantry, or this Libyan cavalry unit. If they didn't even get a charge, and they're going up against what are essentially mounted elite swordsmen. They are going to go in amongst these Libyans and chop them up. They have extremely deadly blades and high armor, very high armor. So they should be able to cut through the Libyans with a ruthless efficiency. First blood to me, for sure. There goes some Roman skirmishing cavalry. We'll go turn our hulking, massive a unit around, even send some javelins flying. Hopefully dodge some missiles, Matrix style, on the way out. Gonna keep on pushing forward here. I mean, to be honest, armies are a little bit closer now than I was anticipating when I started moving my men. Ooh, okay. Okay, this is a very chaotic battle, but we're finding some opportunities. Just worried about this charge right here. Okay, we'll go ahead and twist some of these Agrionians around, and yeah, my general found a great opportunity over here. We just need to go cut down enough Ligurians in this unit to get them to scatter, but for whatever reason, these gold Ligurians, these extremely experienced skirmishers, are holding out. There we go, our general got the kill. Now he just got to run away. Maybe throw a couple of javelins as he leaves. Take another few guys down with him while he's at it. My Agrionians absolutely got into position here. Okay. Ooh, okay. Okay. And just over and over again across the field, we are killing quite a few of the enemy light troops. Like, the Romans have a very skirmishy army. This is kind of a light African mobility picked up by them spending so much time in this region. Could also very much just be the Roman army on its last legs. You know, they're just not able to afford anything better. To go and fight the enemy consul, to go fight these guys, and then, you know what, these African mercenary slingers, we can go ahead, charge these guys down too. Thessalians ravaging Rome's mercenary army. Enemy general trying to put up a decisive defense against hundreds of companions, but slowly and surely the Romans are dropping one by one. There are some areas, like some blob fights, where the Roman infantry is getting kills, but it's been at the cost of everything that has surrounded them. And there are just plenty of pockets where the Romans have lost decisively too, and are continuing to lose. So many Roman troops have gone from the field. Just need to turn my general around though. Yeah, this cavalry just, it needs to get out of these fights. Can't stay trapped for too long. Okay, I think we've adopted some pretty good formations here. Yeah, let's get our cavalry closer to the fight again. We're archers, we're still doing fine. We're sending lots and lots of arrows that are burying themselves in the throats of Rome. There's a nice Principe here. Not going to be too nice anymore for engaging my pikemen head on, but now Agrionian charge rear. These Agrionians are ferocious on the charge. For angry Thracian tribesmen. And well, they've already broken that Roman unit. Now it's just one Carthaginian style hoplite left. My Agrionians are going to chase him down too. There we have it. Can go ahead, form up a makeshift line on this flank with the remnants of my troops. We'll have this somewhat damaged Thessalian charge after these breaking Romans. Have my general go and catch us auxiliary spearmen. Because they are very strong units, actually, so I think that having my general catch him in transition would probably be ideal. There we go. 2 units are gone. And now, let's go ahead and just going to surround this Roman blob in the center. Our general can go in and start charging amongst the Romans, and let's see whether we can cause any of them to rout. There's going to be Thessalians that come in for secondary charges, and yeah, looks like the Roman lines, they've disintegrated. Beautiful. We routed several units of those charges, and let's go ahead and get some Agrionians to follow up those cavalry charges. So I see some Roman spearmen left in the huddle, so just feel like having axemen charge in will be a tasteful follow-up. Because, you know, the spearmen, they could do pretty well against cavalry, but against axes and swords, they're not going to be able to compete nearly as competitively. And there we have it. Boom, bada boom. It's a done deal. The Romans will lose twice as many men as us, almost. Most importantly, though, I assume a couple of their armies will be completely disintegrated after that affair. My general effortlessly gets 352 kills. And I have to say, my light infantry did a great job supporting there, although they lost lots of men to the Roman heavy infantry. But you know what? Oh, it was a great fight. I have no complaints. Oh, we can go and hunt some of these Romans down. And I think this is just an excellent opportunity to auto-resolve. And, well, my casualties were not as excellent, but you know what? So what? Watch me lose another unit or two. Ah, thank you, and no losses. That's what I needed. And yeah, I could subjugate the Romans. Could liberate them too. It'll be pretty funny to have Rome as a client state. I'm gonna go for the subjugate. Oh, they're super hostile though. Oh man, and everyone hates. If they stay out war of everyone too.
I do not think the Senate will thank me greatly for this.
Well, the Senate should really thank you for any of your conduct, Mr. Roman. You guys have lost everything. Okay, well, honestly, we've done very well for ourselves here. We've taken all of Roman Africa. We've converted the Romans into a client kingdom. So that's always a good thing. Got another farm here. A farming settlement. And I believe I already moved the navies. No? Oh, I didn't. Oh, wait a minute. No. This army was already heading here. What am I doing? Ah, oh, that's kind of sad. Oh, whatever. Okay, so that army but this navy goes here. Can this army get to Taras in one turn? Yes, it can. So I'll just leave it over in Italy where it is right now. This general, I mean, he's getting there. He's getting close. Sure that this army can move a bit. Let's get them over to Asia Minor. And what about this? I wanted to get them maybe like close to Pannonia. Somewhere with like actual Skordiki troops. Well, let's go ahead. Just look at all of our diplomats. Okay, they look fine to me. Get the next turn going. Unless there's something I've missed, but you know what? I don't see anything. Yeah, I think we're good for the turn. What about this client state? Is there any other agreements that I need with them?
Speak your speech so that I may go to the baths and wash.
Yeah, we'll go see how the Romans behave. I'm unsure of how reliable they're going to be as a client state. I've literally never had the Romans as a client state ever. Oh, I immediately try to cause a war for us. And of course, Carthage, they're trying to recover some sort of treaties with us. Well, we're just completely disinterested. You know what, though? While we do have the Romans as a client state, we could potentially go in and levy some of their troops, and, you know, maybe the Romans will have an interesting option or two. I'm not sure what to expect, but can always look around. But Arbiv just went into Roman Libya, though. They've got to be sent back to Macedon or something. We're just really, really, really low on troops. So I definitely don't mind if the Romans take Thapsos or something, considering that they're now our ally, now our vaunted client. See how things turn out, but overall, we made some progress here. Now, I do want to eventually go to war against Carthage, so we'll see it. Ooh, was that our faction leader? Macedonian, Thessalian, Macedonian, Antigonid. Yeah, let's go for the one Antigonid dynasty character that we have. Okay, so this army is a little bit low. So we can go ahead and just get these guys to, yeah, we need to let these guys roost for a turn. Now, what about this army? I mean, is there really any type of recruiting we could do over here in Rome? And yeah, these Garbantine sliggers, they don't seem very good. So, yeah, I think we can just kind of chill out. And ooh, Hellas, population surplus. That's awesome. Now, in Sparta, I'm just wondering what the most prudent maneuver is here. What's the next one to get? I mean, we were kind of low here on sanitation, but this is also gonna like improve sanitation once we were able to upgrade it. Sparta, we could go for something that potentially improves food. You know what? It's pretty good income for this province. I think but we'll go for the Agora and try to get something that improves income here to something simple. Nice, we got the mercenaries. Okay, so it's this guy who's like a new general. I mean, we could go for this. Could definitely go for this. Or we could go for this too. Let's go for this. I want to be able to upgrade to a level 4 settlement. It's pretty important. We'll keep this going until our army is... until our general ranks up at least once. And yeah, we'll go ahead and just see... Are the Romans... Are we still at war with everyone that they were at war with? Oh. So I think a lot of those wars were dropped. What about these Carthaginians then? If we declare war against them, we have to wait 4 turns. That's like the one thing that we have to do. So let's wait those 4 turns. Let's see any problems. We've already moved these navies and stuff, and I suppose that we're not going to move these troops at all. For any more agents that we can recruit? No, there aren't. And I'm just wondering if there are any upgrades I can do. Not really. Not any that are really worthwhile, anyway. Okay, I mean, we've kind of already done everything that we can, then. If this army is still recovering. And yeah, with the sheer lack of troops that we have in these provinces, it really isn't to our advantage to, you know, to really, like, start any wars. Ooh. Let's go visit him. Let's go visit this blacksmith. Hopefully he's not like a warrior monk who just obliterates me, but still. Let's go visit Mr. Blacksmith. And yeah, we'll just continue to allow Africa to improve. Yeah, the Carthaginians, they want some sort of alliance. We don't. We don't. I want to take Africa from the Carthaginians eventually. But it's just going to take some time. 3 more turns after this one to be exact. If we are confident in victory. I'm not going to start a war if my armies are completely unprepared. And I wonder whether that army that fought the Romans and took all those casualties, I do wonder whether we should send an army back to, you know, back to Macedon or Hellas or somewhere where we can get some good troops. Yeah, hopefully the Romans make peace with some of these troops and they become a useful ally and they see some legionaries reinforcing my armies. That would be awesome. We have all sorts of different allies in this campaign, so that's not the biggest deal. Ooh, what is this? Craftsman. Oh, okay. So if we recruit men, we can get level 1 weapons, which is kind of cool. Panormus and Massalia. Oh, interesting, because we're probably going to be at war with Massalia. Okay, not really important factions declaring war. It's okay. Not really the craziest events happening this turn, so we can chill out. It's good that this army is recovering somewhat. Okay, my navy here should have already, at this point, done its thing, so we can get these guys towards Africa. We might as well just start recruiting, I guess. It's just 3% more melee attack. It's nothing really that insane. Who is this general again? It's not like... So about to say it's not like it's our faction error or anything, but How to declare an heir here? No valid target. Ah, okay. So, yeah, it's not gonna happen. My leader's too powerful. It's gonna be a royal succession crisis. A classic one, in fact. But yeah, in any case. I know I wanted to make this like a super elite army. I just don't think it's really gonna happen right now. I think I have to wait for my first class population to really become something. So let's just go ahead and get a bunch of these pikemen. I mean, they're solid troops. We can get like 6 of them. We already have 2 free cavalry units. We can maybe get like 2 more. Okay. Doesn't look like we can really do a whole lot more than we've already done. 6 units is the max that we can recruit. It's a done deal. Okay, looks like it is turn over for now. But then what about this army? And I suppose that we can get some of these Thracians. I mean, Thracians are always decent units after all. This army is always going to be improving. Alright. So the turn go forth. More armies converge on Africa as my battle plans for the province continue to evolve. But I don't know, guys. Like, it really might be a little bit of an error to go to war against Carthage in their home territory, but you know what? How many armies do we possibly have? Not really that many. We'll eventually be able to just outcompete them on their own territory, I think. I think that once we really send the rest of our forces towards Africa, the rest of these 4 armies, we should be able to outmatch Carthage's fighting power. But we shall see. I'm really not fully aware of what Carthage's powers are. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Now, I wanted to get the training ability. Wanted to maybe get some ability to be a military administrator of sorts, but I suppose it matters not. Now, I wanted to get this army over here because, I mean, this general is very low level. Okay, so I've either gone. Just wonder if this general leaves, will banditry in this province go out of control? And well, the answer is no. You know what? Let's just try to finish recruiting for this army first before we get them too far, send them too far away. Yeah, I think that is a pretty solid force. We'll send this guy down towards the academy. Strategos Academy. The greatest academy that there possibly could be. Do want to make sure to get enough troops here, and ooh, we'll go get some Libyan cav. Okay, these guys have 3 more turns. You know what? We'll just go ahead and like camp out. Make sure to refuel. And then we'll go for our next trip back. This navy shall continue to go towards Africa. Hmm. Damn, they're not even trading with our client state? Wait a minute. That's a bit of an oversight. Oh, wow. They don't even want to trade. I feel like belligerents. I feel like ready for war. And perhaps we'll have to give him war. Didn't realize Armenia was getting all throughout Bithynia at Pontus, too. And yet Asia remains decisively within the hands of my alliance. As such, I'm feeling quite confident that it'll remain as so. And these guys, okay, these guys are dead. Ooh, okay. Huh. I've actually never really seen Armenia gain any traction in a campaign. I think the elimination of Rome has made this campaign a little bit different than it typically is. So I'm seeing some factions rise that I've never seen prior to this campaign. So it just kind of makes sense. And oh, it kind of looks like Rome's about to get destroyed too. Yeah, I think that ally of Carthage has Rome in the bag right now. But anyway, recruiting some troops, we're solidifying our hold in Africa. Our 2 settlements are becoming more and more agriculturally favorable. Our last army is being transported on a large scale fleet. And while we have a general over in Macedonia who's been studying up at the academy and has been an excellent student, he's going to go to Italy to start his service. But I do wonder when we'll eventually have like a good first-class population in Pella. Been waiting patiently, and we should be able to pass 3,000 at the end of this turn, at least. No, we'll just have to see. I mean, see, Syracuse, they're conquering. We shall jail the suspect. Ooh, pirates. Never ever quite liked the way pirates materialize in Divide et Impera, yet we're gonna have to deal with that sudden and nefarious threat. We'll have this general sitting right here, learning what he can. Okay, this army, let's go ahead and send them back to Asia Minor, or this navy rather. But it's a rather experienced and powerful navy, so it'll go quite quick. This force, not so much, but they were carrying a very powerful force with them, so it'll take them some time. Yeah, we'll eventually just go to Syracuse and reconquer it, probably. So a client state thing isn't quite working. The Romans, they're still surviving somehow. Not entirely sure how they possibly achieved such a feat, but they are. Still standing. I'll just continue to build up Africa as grand as we can. Nice, 76 per turn. We are improving our upper class population steadily. Where are my... Like, where are my, my warriors? Which armies are they with? Okay, there's one of them. I guess my everyone's right here, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, it definitely looks like this army is going to be a vital import. from my battles against the Carthaginians. So is that army over there. This one, not as much, but, you know, can kind of go and chill. Okay, looks like this turn is over. We continue our march forward towards progress itself. And let's go one more turn after this one. The Romans continue to be under siege. Carthaginians, looks like they might be trying to get somehow involved in Asia Minor, but that half navy that they're sending around won't really be able to do a whole lot. I do hope that Anphia isn't about to get attacked by pirates. My army's a little bit far away now that I look at it. May have made a little oversight there, but I think that Anphia is probably a level 3 settlement at this point. There's no way it's not in a province as solid as Thrace. Should be no trouble. You know, a lot of our generals just aren't very solid anymore. Just aren't very top tier. So my army costs go up because of it. You know, you need some experienced generals are pretty important in Divide et Impera. They're just so advantageous to have, but you kind of need them. That makes sense too. Okay, over here in Rome. Definitely take some more food. But this is an industrial province, so at the end of the day, commerce is the most important thing. Well, cultural conversion's good too. We'll take that. After all, the Romans have to be bred out from Rome itself. Replaced with good Greek people. Yeah, it looks like there's just absolute chaos happening in Roman territory. I've lost the plot. I've lost the plot myself. But yeah, at this point, we'll kind of keep these two armies tightly together. And we'll get this spy over near Thapsus, so that they can light the way. This army is going to kind of stay back and hopefully recover and eventually become a more defensive and functional force for here in Africa. This navy is going to continue to travel, just as this one shall as well, towards the pirate fleet. Make sure to get nice and close to Anphia to guarantee reinforcement. Within 2 turns, we'll figure out what the kind of balance is in Thrace once these 2 buildings finish, so I want to kind of wait for that. Yeah, this army can wait a bit. Wondering whether that army might improve as well. So I'm going to wait a turn and see what happens. I am wondering whether the Syracusan Democrats would consider a trade agreement even when paid. Wow, 32 grand and they don't want it. Really does showcase the dislike that these guys have towards me. Yeah, my client states do not like me. They're not particularly useful political entities. It looks like Carthage has taken over Rome. I think I just saw it happen. No? I'm wondering. Let's see. Did I just see Carthage pounds? I've never seen Carthage eliminate Rome. That would be a first too. So many possibilities. Man, as kind of the world consolidates and solidifies around us, we're just gonna bide our time here. I think I'm probably gonna end up having to conquer Sicily, so. Ooh, yeah, the Romans are gone. I wanna go check out what happened. Nice. Now this has been a successful agent, and I wonder what can we get here? 40 or industrial? Industrial. We still have a little bit of industrial income coming from Sparta. Wondering, is this Agora going to help us? Commerce, agriculture. I could definitely go for this one. Do we have the warhorse resource? Oh, looks like we do. I'm gonna go get the warhorse resource and see what happens. So I'm unsure of whether those cavalry, those level 1 mounts are going to be available in all my provinces, but I think that they should. In theory. Let's go ahead and move these fools over. Okay, we're sending an army even closer. Oh, nice! Acros is back.
Whose honored guest. I serve as my people. I am honored to greet some. Be welcome.
Okay, I mean, everything's looking good right now. My humble opinion.
It would be wise to speak honestly if you wish to keep.
It looks like we can declare war in like one turn if we wanted to. You know what? We could play one per turn. We can see what happens here. The Macedon, if they are a Carthaginian ally, right? Or for allies. Macedon and Massili. I mean, the Massili don't have very full armies, but this army over here is very strong and very powerful. And frankly, a concern. The Macedon are definitely stronger. The Massili are just one settlement, although a walled one. Yeah, we're gonna have our work cut out for us when we go fight the Carthaginians, for sure. Yeah. We're gonna have to kind of choose a more... It's honestly a better attack strategy than what we have planned. Definitely can't just like kind of have one army attack independently and the other one attack independently. We're just gonna get destroyed that way. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to see whether this is going to allow us to just improve our cavalry everywhere, but I think it will. Kind of excited for that. See what happens. Plus, it is going to offer a mild agricultural boost in this province. And Romans, they are gone from the field, obliterated by the Carthaginians. So thank you I get for saving their butts. They get conquered by my greatest adversary at the moment, but you know what? After this turn ends, I think it's time to turn it in for today, boys. But I'm happy with the progress we've made, and next episode we're going to be able to start the full and final conquest of Africa. At least that's my hope. And you know what? I should consider an alliance. It really is needless to turn it down. Yeah, war still rage in Sicily. Don't quite like that, though. Oh, man, everywhere I look, there's so many armies. The world is alight. Ooh. It's a nice upgrade for this general. See, should I do cavalry? Yeah, I'll do cavalry. This is a really good cavalry army. Okay, let's get this army to kind of go around right here. Oh, we lost so many men moving through the desert. I hate it. Ah, it's so gross. Oh, man. Carthaginians really are just doing everything that they can to annoy me. You know what? Let's land this one army before we, attack fully. We'll delay a little bit. And you know what? Let's go and fight one more battle. A naval battle. You know what? If we can. I don't know if the... Oh, the Seleucids are gone. That's cool. I don't know if the Thracians are going to let me. In fact, I very much doubt that they're going to engage me properly. No, they're not. Well, then in that case, guys, it's been fantastic to record this episode. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.